And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another broadcast here for Fast Break, live for iSports Radio, your three for all sports. I know we couldn't join y'all last week because I had mouth surgery, and D-Locke was out of conference, and he's out of conference once again in Louisville right now, so hopefully join us back next week. But I'm glad to be back here with y'all tonight to discuss some basketball, and plus, March is here. March Madness is here. We'll talk about that, discuss that here for the network. Going here in a little bit. Who's on the bubble? A lot of teams discuss them there, men's and women. Who's on the bubble? Who might not make it? Who's going to make it? Plus, talk about USC beating UCLA, sweeping that series out in LA. Or the Trojans, the team to beat come March. Or, we're talking about South Carolina, UConn, or else somebody else. Plus, Michigan State. I'm going to kind of talk about them. Kind of a quiet team to kind of come March. Tom Izzo's got that team kind of poised to make a run. We'll discuss that. Also, I want to discuss did the Celtics kind of blow their load against the Cavs? So we'll discuss that and much more here for Fast Break Live for iSports Radio. You're the for all sports. Now I'll catch you on the other side after these messages.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. iSports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, iEsports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the broadcast here tonight for Fast Break here for Live for IE Sports Radio, your direct field, all that is sports. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. I know last week I couldn't make it last week because I had to get some work done right here. I had emergency surgery, mass surgery, all that good stuff. You know, I feel like, quick update I had to tell y'all. I'm like, I don't like to go to the dentist just because, when they do work and stuff like that, that big old needle that the dentist use, that big old thing that punches in the none, the math, all that stuff. I can't stand that. That's like top 10 scariest things. And it goes in this, it just goes, it's like a bitch. I hate to cuss. Don't like cuss on here, but trying to keep clean, but it just hurts like a bitch. So all weekend, I couldn't. I mean, I did some things, but talking wise, it won't be up to the standard that, myself or B-Locke proposed to do to the show. So last week, we had to take a rain check on that. I kind of wish we were live last week. So apologies for that. But as you see around the ticker right there, do follow IE Sports Radio on all your social media feeds, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Get your audios on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, wherever you get your listening, we're there. We got a lot of great things coming down through the pipe to the network. The draft coming up. March Madness is here. As I'm going to talk about here in just a second. There's a lot of things. Baseball about to get up and rolling again. Hockey. A lot of buzz about hockey. Great all-star break for them compared to the NBA. A lot of buzz from them. They had the big game at Ohio State yesterday with the Penguins and the Blue Jackets, I believe. Saw that. So a lot of great things going on the network. A lot of great people talking about these things. So do check out iSportsRadio.com for all your social media news feeds, all that stuff as well. Also, our latest sponsor here for the network, Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to GetRawNutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off. Everybody loves a little discount. Everybody needs a little help here and there. So Raw Nutrition is going to get y'all right. So go to getrawnutrition.com. Use that promo code IESR for 10% off. And get you right, get your mind right, get your body right. So use that promo code right there as displayed on the screen. So last week we were off. I'm here this week. D-Lock's in the conference in Louisville for track. He'll be back here next week. I'm here. March Madness is here. It's kind of perfect because, this college basketball season, it's just been, talk about the women's side of things. It's like, we know who the big powers are, in a sense. No particular order. South Carolina, USC, UCLA, LSU, I'll talk about them in a second, UConn, are kind of like they've been like the main heavy hitters all season long. And going to last night's action, and I know I didn't get a chance last week because I was out and about, but going to last night's action, you had USC defeat UCLA 80-67 to complete that season sweep out in LA. Juju Watkins, once again, come on strong. 30 points for her. Had some blocks. 3 blocks for her in that matchup against UCLA. And I'm starting to think, I talked about this a couple weeks ago with that big old matchup between UCLA and USC. I'm starting to think maybe USC may be the team to beat. And I know some of y'all probably going to say, what about South Carolina? What about Texas? What about Notre Dame? It's a lot of teams out there that you can put there and just, put a bet in Vegas and let it ride and see who's going to come on top. Like, kind of right now in the rankings right now, Texas number 1, UCLA 2 right now. Notre Dame 3, USC 4, UConn 5, North Carolina 6, LSU number 7 for right now. North Carolina 8, NC State 9, TCU 10. And outside looking in, Tennessee, who has some bad losses, especially to Georgia today. That's a very bad loss from Tennessee, which I think that's going to drop it down in rankings a lot and dropped it down in in tournament polling as well. So it's just like a lot of heavy hitters right now for the women's side of things. But I keep coming back to star power. Like, can your stars take you to the top? And I think, USC probably got the biggest star of them all. Now, I say that, and last time I talked about this matchup between these two teams, need a little bit more from the other ladies for USC to kind of, if they're going to reach to that mountaintop. What UCLA got with Miss Betts, and she had a double-double, but it just kind of wasn't like a strong performance from Lauren. And she also had 5 turnovers as well in that matchup this past Friday. So I just think it's like, this past Saturday, excuse me. Like, Lauren's good, but can she do a little more? Can she score more? Can she be more dominant down low? Which is really a crazy thing to say, but can she be more impactful inside to carry UCLA towards the mountaintop like they can? But I think it's a good win for USC, a good win for them. Come Big Ten time, if I pull up those standings real quick. So right now, UCLA, USC atop right now. Ohio State, number 3 right now, tied up with Maryland. Then you got Illinois and Michigan State behind them as well. So, coming to Big Ten conference play for the tournament, you probably be matched up with, you got a couple buys here, so you got time to rest. You got time to figure things out. You got time to kind of, let some of the other teams beat each other up. I don't expect, a Rutgers, Penn State, Purdue, Northwestern to make a run to kind of get you at a gotcha moment. I had eliminated those teams. Now you're looking at Washington, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Minnesota could do something, but I don't see it. And I think your USC, you could potentially see UCLA again in the conference championship. Possible. Maryland, Ohio State can meet them there. I don't foresee Michigan State getting there But if you're USC and you kind of want to get a streak going, get some, more confidence in yourself to be an NCAA champion, come conference tournament time, handle your business. Don't let UCLA beat you, to kind of derail that. Keep that one goal in mind. And y'all kind of see where I'm going. USC is my team to win the championship, but keep that one goal in mind. Get through the Big Ten tournament, then focus on NCAAs. And Terry Rodriguez brought a point. Juju Walker's had one crowd silencer since UCLA fans were chanting airball after she had a rare airball. Yeah, I mean, airballs happen, Airballs happen, in basketball. I don't know why people, I don't know why you cheering airball. I know you're trying to rattle the confidence of the player and stuff like that, but you're talking about an elite player. Elite players don't get rattled like that unless something really going on with them, personal, whatever. But elite players don't get rattled like that. We're going to be real. And Juju, as we know, Tara, covering out in LA and all that, she's an elite player. And Tara also brought up, don't sleep on Iowa. They've beaten USC and they nearly beat UCLA. Yeah. It's just, and that's a tournament team that kind of, a bubble team at that. If you kind of think about it, you look at the standings of the Big Ten. They tied up with, they're like in a four-way tie between Indiana, Nebraska, Oregon, and Iowa themselves. So they got to go a little deep in the tournament, in the Big Ten tournament, if they're going to make the NCAAs. They got to make, I'm trying to pull up that schedule for the tournament, which they haven't done yet. So, but they got to make a big run in the Big Ten, Taryn, if they're going to make a chance in the NCAA tournament. A chance. But, going back to this game real quick, congratulations to USC, first year Big Ten, and you come on top of the conference. You and your crosstown rivals. Just think about that. You and your crosstown rivals came to a new conference and dominated for the most part to be on top of it. So far so good, with these teams that come into the Big Ten. The results are in the pudding, proof in the pudding in a sense. And hopefully, with the Big Ten money, all that stuff, that they continue to build on this. You know what I'm saying? You got to continue to build on this. All right, there's too many teams in this conference that you can't let up at once. So, great job by both of these teams to come in the Big Ten and dominate the way they did. And then Terry also brought up, it also could have been the case of USC and UCLA playing in a hostile environment, such as Iowa. But I think USC comes out of the Big Ten conference first. Yeah, I agree there. And, Iowa's a tough place. You got to think about this, going to Big Ten and stuff, like going to the Big Ten and all this. You're not saying the conference in the West Coast. You're going out to the Midwest. I used to live by Iowa. Going out to the Midwest, cold, some of these ladies probably never experienced the farm life, seen smaller communities, stuff like that. So going to in a sense a close knit community, in a sense that you might be rattled, be say some words to you on the court and stuff like that. Compared to LA, people just vibe different. Your vibes gonna be different. Vibes gonna be different in Iowa City. Vibes gonna be different in Columbus. Vibes gonna be different in East Lansing. You know what I'm saying? Vibes gonna be different out in Maryland. So, now you go to conference play, neutral site, and I think you can just come in and just do your work for both teams, UCLA and USC. Because I better not see either one of those teams tripped up in this conference tournament. I better not. Because they're too good to be tripped up, and we'll get see Ohio State, somebody else in there. We got to see part 3 of this matchup between USC and UCLA. Got to. But moving forward, staying in the Big Ten, but going to the men's side of things real quick. Yeah, Michigan State defeat Wisconsin 71-62. And I think if we kind of look at this right now, you're looking like a Tom Izzo team that's kind of real sneaky good. And I know some people pundits and stuff like that. Yeah, Michigan State always been good, consistent all year. Yeah, but we haven't been talking about them. Let's be real. Who we talking about all year? Auburn, Alabama, Duke, Florida, for the most part. Kansas playing like crap, not to their standard. Put it that way. North Carolina playing like crap, not playing to their standard. That's what we've been talking about. We ain't been talking about Michigan State like this. We've been talking about St. John's and the Rick Pitino and his resurgence with that program. We ain't been talking about Michigan State like this. At one point, we're talking about a little bit of Iowa State being atop right there, having a good run. So they had a couple bad losses here. So we really been talking about Michigan State. I know they've been consistent, they've been there and all that good stuff. But we ain't been talking about like the other teams I just mentioned. But today, they win 71-62 against Wisconsin. 19 points for Atkins, 8 rebounds for him. 11 points for Richardson, 6-6, 5 rebounds for him. 16 rebounds for Kohler, and 10 points for him. And you talk about a very sneaky good Michigan State team, and a Michigan State team that could make a run in the NCAA tournament. Now, I say could because, over the years, when we don't talk about Tom Izzo in Michigan State, they haven't run. When they do, when we talk about them, they consistent, all that good stuff. You fill out your brackets and stuff like that. Like, damn, Michigan State got a good team. They might have a good run. They get bounced out by the first weekend. You're the first round, the second round. Pick one, they be bounced out if a team's supposed to go deep. If a team ain't supposed to go deep, we ain't really talk about them, they go deep. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing that happens with them. And Terrence brought up, going back to the women's real quick, anything short of USC versus USA in the Big Ten conference will be a shocker. Both teams have been consistent throughout the entire season for the most part. Yeah, it'll be a shocker. I mean, if Ohio State sneaks in, it won't be too much a shocker in my eyes. But yeah, those two teams, if we're not getting part 3 between those two teams, then it'd be a highly disappointment. And kind of, if we're being real, if those two teams do make it to the conference tournament, that championship may outshine some of these men's conference championships. If we're going to be real about that. it would be real about that. Short of like say Alabama Auburn meeting the SEC men's championship might trump that, but if Duke gets like NC State, for example, in the conference championship, I mean, nobody really checking for that because NC State been trash all year. And by the way, what a disappointment for them going from the Final Four to under 500. But anyways, Duke played like NC State in the conference championship. I remember watched everybody gonna be tuning in UCLA and USC in that championship game over Duke and damn NC State. Like, change that. So, like I said, anything short of those two teams, I think, would be just like lackluster in a sense. But back to Michigan State, Wisconsin. They beat Wisconsin. They're top of the Big Ten right now, one game ahead of their arch rival, Michigan. Well, one of their arch rivals. But, they 15-3 in conference play, 24-5 overall, eighth in the country. So, and I kind of looking up, let's see. They play again. They play at Iowa on March the 6th, in which I watched a few times I watched Iowa this year. It's just like there's so much basketball to keep up. But the few times I watched Iowa this year, it seemed like they just shoot themselves in the foot late in games. Missed layups, missed assignments on defense. It's mainly the missed shots and late stuff like that. So they play at Iowa. It should be a game that Michigan State win, but it's gonna be like a slow half court game, which I think Michigan will favor Michigan State, but could be one of those games that could be close on March 6th. So keep an eye on that. Then on next Sunday, they play Michigan at home. Our early tip game. That's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one. Golden for Michigan, leading away for 15 points or 16 points. I'll just put it that way for Michigan. That could be a tough matchup. They do got him at home. Michigan's been playing pretty well. They really bounced back from the years of Juwan Howard, Dusty May. Really taking that whole program and kind of really shift that direction because it was kind of going like a downward spiral in a sense with Juwan Howard the past couple years. Now Dusty May got in, got some recruits, kept some guys around, didn't bring up that whole Florida Atlantic team, but brought a couple key guys as kind of turned things around for Michigan. Now for the key thing for Michigan, if they kind of want to be that number one seed come conference play, they got to be the rivals at their house. And I think they'd be big favorite in the conference, Dusty May, to beat Tom Izzo in his house. And at least stake a claim for the Big Ten title. But, for Michigan, they got to win out as well. They got Maryland at home. That's not going to be no easy feat. And then, like I said, they go up to Michigan State. So they win those two games. And hopefully Iowa upsets Michigan State. There's a chance that you could get that number one seed in this come Big Ten play. But you got to win out and got to hope for a lot of prayers right there towards the end. Moving forward, Jamami Mashak for Tennessee with a game-winning 3 in regulation to beat Alabama. Now, as some of y'all know, I'm a big Alabama fan. I'll talk about them a lot for the good or worse of things. And as I was out and about, I heard this game on the radio. These fellas here had that game won late. They had that game won late. And a free throw line violation. And then as I kind of watched the highlights back of the game, a couple things that kind of shot them in the foot. Free throws from your freshmen. And I told y'all about, if y'all new to the show, I stress by free throws. I coach basketball. I stress by free throws. Alabama shot 17-26 from the line. Not the worst thing in the world, but you lose by 3 points, and you got guards missing free throws, like Aiden Holloway, for example. Going to be in his possession. And this kind of like this bad basketball, I don't say malpractice, but this kind of like things that you don't do, you did. Like you had the LeBron Fowler inbounding the ball to kind of, to win the game, basically. And then Nate also had 2 timeouts in his pocket. And you're playing Tennessee. You know how loud that crowd is. And you didn't take timeout. Unless you couldn't hear the 5-second count. But finally, I got to know, when that ball hands to you, you got a 5 second. You got like at least a 5-second clock in your head. 4 seconds. 4 seconds, you're being real. 4 seconds, you're being real. And you need to get the ball in. And you turn the ball over. And then that the defense on the inbound, stuff like that, this poor defense. You let the guard dribble up. I don't know why you didn't pressure him. I know you didn't want to foul, but you got this, challenge or something like that. Don't let no fluke shit happen, and the fluke stuff happened. And Meshack got the game-winning 3 right there. And put Alabama at contention for a chance at the SEC regular season title, which with the Auburn automatically today with that loss, and they beat down Kentucky in Lexington. Auburn beat Kentucky so bad in Lexington that they were having feed problems. I was at Baumhauer's trying to watch that game a little bit. Game got lost to feed problems. Because Auburn was whooping that ass early on. I hate to give Auburn props. I can't stand it. But they were whooping Kentucky's ass early on. They came out swinging. Kind of like they thought they did against Alabama when they played them in Tuscaloosa. They came out the gate, and Kentucky couldn't recover. Saying that they did it to Alabama. They couldn't recover. And didn't have room to kind of help lead the way. Your guards stepped up for that beat down Kentucky. And don't let that final score fool you. I know Kentucky kind of made the game a little late, but they beat down Kentucky. But back to Alabama. Seeding matters. You have Alabama team that's potentially in the mix for a number one seed. Now with this loss here, now you got to look at like at least a high 2 seed if you're Bama. Now, can they get back to the conversation on number 1 overall seed? Sure. But they got 2 tall tasks this week. Wednesday against Florida. Tough matchup, top 10 matchup. And then you go down to Auburn on Saturday. Tough matchup. 3 teams, the last 3 games, 3 teams within the top 6 that you had to play. And it's going to determine, like, hey, you look at number 1 seed for the NCAA, or at worst, you're looking at number 3 seed for the Crimson Tide. At worst, a 3 seed. I don't think they go no lower than 3 seed. If they lose those 2 games, you're looking at no lower than 3 seed. No worse than 3 seed. Now, you got teams like right now. If I got my number 1 seeds right now, I got Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Tennessee. I think Tennessee's win over Bama puts them there slightly above Houston. You could make the argument that Houston may be over Tennessee, but I put Tennessee right there above Houston right now. But it's about this margin right here. And then your second seeds looking like Houston, Alabama, St. John's, and Michigan State. You could possibly add Clemson to the mix of making a number 2 seed. They've been playing pretty well as well. But at worst, they'd be at least a number 3 seed. Unless they have a strong conference tournament and beat Duke in the finals. Then maybe enter the number 2, maybe number 1 talk. But it seems like there's a lot of teams that's ahead of them right now. But, we'll dive in more to that come conference tournament play. But for Tennessee, big time win for them at home. That last second shot, very key. Now, can they finish out the regular season? They play at Oxford and Ole Miss Wednesday. Tough matchup, tough defensive matchup. A lot of inside play there. That's going to be a real victory to come by. And then you play at home against South Carolina, in which I'll give Carolina their props. They playing somewhat better, but it should be an easy win at home for the Volunteers. If they can win at least those 2 matchups, you keep yourself in talks for the number 1 seed. It keeps you in talks and keeps you deep in those bye weeks for the conference tournament. It keeps you that deep along the way. Because if they happen to lose those 2 games, if Mississippi State win out, they could jump them. If Texas A&M win out, they could jump them. But if they win those 2 games, get the bye through. And then same thing for Bama. They got to win out too. Those buys for the conference tournament are very key. And speaking as a Bama fan, I want those buys kind of from Nate Oates kind of in the company to kind of figure some things out. I don't want no damn split going to conference against Florida and Auburn. I want no damn split. I want them to win. If they win, they keep those buys right there. But if they don't, lose. You already got the tiebreaker against Mizzou if they win out. Tennessee beat you. So you don't want to fall into that first bye. You want that extra one as well. And that's the main thing right there. You want the extra one. So I hope Bama wins out and kind of, keep that extra bye and figure some things out. Like, what we're going to do? Offensively, defensively, how we're going to shake things up for the tournament. What's our best starting lineup? All that good stuff. All right. Kind of went long, rambling off on this stuff. But we'll take our first break. After the break, talk a little bit ACC. Chucky Hepburn had a big career day for Louisville. Talk about that. Also talk about Bubble Watch, who's some of these bubble teams that are going to the conference tournament play. So we'll talk about that and much more. But this is Fast Break here, live for iSports Radio. You're the read for sports, and I'll catch you on the other side.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio here live. My words right. Thank you for coming back to Fast Break here for IE Sports Radio. You're the referral in sports, and thank you for joining the broadcast here tonight. Left off here talking about March Madness, NCAA, ramifications, all that stuff. ACC play real quick. Chucky Hepburn, excuse me. 37 points, the transfer from Wisconsin to lead the way for the Cardinals to pass Pitt. I know on Twitter /X on this right here, that we do gives a follow there. I did talk about Rick Pitino potentially be a Coach of the Year candidate. Now, obviously, you got like Bruce Pearl in the mix, John Shire as well. With Duke, but the way let me pull that up real quick. In a way, with Pat Kelsey has done a great job coming from the college of Charleston to try and transfer his team and to possibly, be at least a number 2, number 3 seed in the tournament, as he's done wonders with that program and kind of just revitalized that program, because Kenny Payne, God bless him, for the couple years that he was there in Louisville, was like a deer in headlights with that program. And you're talking about a Louisville program that if you can get, be good at it, be this and that, be Kentucky and stuff like that, you always get good players there, that it's a good job to have. Nice, I was like the biggest metropolis, but you're a nice, good sized city. You're an hour or change away from Indianapolis, not far from Cincinnati. Chicago ain't too far for this and stuff like that. So you can recruit well. Nashville's not too far, not very far from St. Louis. So, if you could do good there and get some good players and stuff like that and recruit well, high school players, but, most coaches are not doing that now. But if sort of this humor me, but if you do that, it's a great job to have. Nice big city, not as a big city, but, big enough, but kind of small enough that, you're not overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. It's not like New York or LA and something like that. Chicago. So it's a nice job to have. And the way, Pat Kelsey has turned this program well, he got to be in talks for Coach of the Year honors as well. And getting Chucky to come, to Louisville was a very key thing. Because, Chucky went to my old high school out in Nebraska, Bellevue West. I still keep up with that program basketball wise. And this kid over the years has really blossomed over the years. And then so much so that, that Creighton, Nebraska couldn't keep it in state. He went all the way to Wisconsin. And, he had some good success there, but, just kind of watch him from afar in his high school career, until in his time in Wisconsin, like, damn, this kid like was more of a scorer in high school compared to he was in Wisconsin. Now he gets here to Louisville, and it seems like, the coach Kelsey here kind of let the reins loose a little bit. And he chopped the well 37 points, 6 for 6 from 3-point land. I said, damn, this is the kid I kind of, followed, since high school. This is the kid that I saw was Gatorade Player of the Year in Nebraska. And I'm trying to pull up something. Stupid thing's not working. But, this kid leading the way, Chucky, leading the way for this team, 16.3 points a game, 6 assists, 84% for free throw line, 6% for 3-point land, 45% from the field. This is a kid I kind of envisioned, went to Wisconsin, kind of brought some life and scoring there, but, it didn't happen too much there. Now at Louisville, 16.3 points per game, shooting the ball very well. Compared to his time in Wisconsin, I'm looking at right now, very underwhelming for a player that, I thought, will be at least a scoring machine. I don't say scoring machine, but like will help some scoring there in Wisconsin, but it really didn't materialize like that. Here, I seen the player that I saw watching afar in high school. So shout out to him, getting his career high. Shout out to him getting his name out there. And then shout out to Louisville. I know y'all Louisville fans. I know we talked about on Twitter. I know you Louisville fans were like hurting the past couple of years with Kenny Payne. And now you just kind of just like that, you're back into the tournament talk. And that's a great thing for basketball and college basketball as a whole. Moving forward, if Louisville is up there with the Blue Bloods. All right. So, bubble talk. Kind of laid the scene down for the most part. Not all of it, but got to the good points, all that good stuff. Now, who do I think are bubble teams in my eyes? We'll just go down the list. We'll just go down the list. And we'll just go from there. So, let's go. Knock out the big conferences first, and we'll just go from there. All right, starting with the ACC. Let me pull my thing up. My locks for the ACC right now: Duke, Clemson, Louisville. Now, some of y'all probably say SMU. I think they are locked as well. Some people may disagree about that, but I think your 4 top locks are SMU, Louisville, Clemson, and Duke. Now, some of y'all probably looking like, well, damn, Davidson. SMU, same record as Wake Forest and North Carolina. And Stanford is 1 game out behind SMU. So what's the difference? Couldn't make an argument, but with North Carolina, it had some bad losses. And you're talking about a preseason top 10 team. So, if North Carolina, I say they damn near got at least make a semifinals of the conference tournament to get in. Damn near. Now, man, take all that, but to me, they got to make at least there to make the to the NCAA tournament. Wake Forest, same boat. Hell, they may have to make the championship to get there. Shout out to Hunter Silas, but I think SMU. I think I got them as a lock right now for the ACC. But my bowl watch teams, I just mentioned, in a sense. SMU, I got in, but I think they'd be a bubble team. Wake Forest, North Carolina, Stanford. Everybody else, Florida State, no. Pittsburgh, no. Georgia Tech, no. Everybody else, no. So that's all I got for the ACC right now. That's my locks. Duke, Clemson, Louisville, SMU. Bubble watch, Wake Forest, North Carolina, Stanford. Now, moving along. The Big Ten. My locks so far. Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, Oregon, Illinois. Now, some of y'all probably saying, like, what about UCLA? You could put them there. I think they got to do a couple more things for me to put them there as a lock. I think they'll get as a lock, but right now I got them on bubble watch right now. You're talking about a team that came in ranked, but kind of lost that luster in the midseason, midpoint away. But I think, like they lost to Purdue the other day. Tomorrow they got Northwestern, and they should beat Northwestern. But the way they've been playing against lesser teams, they could lose that one. If they lose that one, they for sure in the bubble. Like Mick Cronin and them, if they lose against Northwestern tomorrow, they should be on the bubble. Let's be real about that. They should be on the bubble. And then you can play against cross-town rival USC. Never get, if you lose that one, you definitely in the bubble then. Let's be real about that. And USC is 6-12 in conference play. You can't lose to your cross-town rival. So UCLA, once the child is locked in, they got to win out. Lose to Purdue ain't the worst thing. Purdue's a lock to the term in my eyes. But if they lose out to Northwestern and USC, yeah, that bubble talk can be very loud for UCLA and Mick Cronin. So, like I said, my locks: Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, Oregon, Illinois. And I got UCLA on my bubble. And then I know a lot of y'all probably won't bring out in the Big Ten. What about Nebraska? I don't know. I want to get to SEC. I'll talk about that. What about Ohio State? I don't know. It's real tough to put them in right now. Indiana. For Mike Wilson, I like Mike Wilson. For Mike Wilson to make the tournament, it'll be great for him to go out like that, to at least make the tournament on his last year out. I know the folks in Indiana think the job is better. I think it's up here, but let's be honest, it's kind of been kind of down here. I want to say in the same boat as UCLA in a sense. Like these prestigious programs that for the past few years have had a lot of coaches just kind of bring the value down. We're going to be real about that. Woodson included. Mick Cronin included. But I think it'd be great for, Mike Wilson to make the tournament with this Indiana squad and see what happens, come tournament time. But after that, unless somebody make a big run in the conference tournament, I don't expect nobody else in the Big Ten to make it as a lock. Big East. Marquette, St. John's, UConn, who's been real funny to like the past month and a half, and Creighton. Those are more lots in the Big East. For UConn, talk about them for a second. It's kind of look like more and more bleak that they won't repeat. Not saying they can catch fire come tournament time, but it's kind of looking more and more as days go by. The way Dan Hurley, coaching wise, I think, may have been getting too confident in himself and those who arrogant and kind of like biting his team in his ass at points in the season. Not saying they can make a run for the title, but I think, they could make a run or they could be bounced out early in the tournament. If they get bounced out early in the tournament, hopefully, it'll be like a humbling experience for Hurley to kind of like, hey, okay, I'll feel myself a little bit. 2 title wins in a row. The Lakers were trying to butter me up. I came in, got nice recruits and all that stuff, got a raise. And then come to the season, like things ain't been going to plan as I hoped. So I think, for UConn, them, I think they'll get in, but I don't think, it's not that threat like there was the past couple of years, especially last year as well. And shout out to Mike in the chat. How you doing tonight, brother? He said, I'm sad about Boston College are not going to be qualified for the ACC tournament. Can I say something about that? I live in SC country, but I also live in a SWAC country in a sense. I live close to Alabama A&M. I kind of hate, that these teams don't get into the conference tournaments. I understand, the process of elimination and stuff like that. But I kind of hate that you don't, if you're in a conference, you should at least have a chance at a title, conference title at least, in my humble opinion. That is just my 2 cents. I get it. All these teams, you got to do something to lighten the load. But it's like, damn, y'all in the conference for a reason. You got to stretch things out, like maybe bump up the season a week or so, something like that. But I just kind of, I kind of hate that you do this. Hell, I live in the state of Alabama. If that's the case, hell, they should be doing that crap for the high school in basketball. And they've been talking about that for the past few years. Some of these lower, under 500 teams make all the way to Wallace. Well, from where I live at, the region I live at, make it to Wallace and make it to Birmingham. And then they get stomped out by these greater power schools. Who knew that do? I mean, just, I don't know. I just kind of don't like, the elimination stuff like that. You're in conference, you're in conference. You know what I'm saying? This is my 2 cents. And Mike, if you're still there, help me out with that. Is it like the bottom 2 teams they ain't gonna make it, or the bottom 3? How they doing that? If you're still watching, I look at the standings right now for the ACC. So bottom 3. So Miami, who they had that coach leave, he tapped out, and they got a new coach now. NC State, Final Four team last year, and I wonder if old boy survives there at NC State. And then you got Boston College as well, and then Syracuse. Damn, what a fall for them. So it is the bottom 3. Okay, thank you for that, Mike. So yeah, I mean that's tough though. And nobody's saying like Boston College, NC State, or Miami is gonna win the NCC tournament, but I'm just saying like, yeah, it might saying because the ACC expanded from 15 to 18 teams that were added like Stanford and Cal, yeah, but still, extend the buys to the top four. So whoever the top four will be, extend the buys to them and figure out that way. Man, while I'm looking at it, where are they having a tournament this year? So okay, and they're having a tournament in Charlotte this year. So I mean, ain't like nobody going to the damn Hornets games anyway. So you could expand the tournament a little bit. So what's the big deal? The Hornets suck. Brandon Miller is out for the rest of the year. LaMelo Ball stays hurt. Yeah, it's expand that damn tournament. Expand that damn tournament. This is my opinion. But anyways, back where I was going, excuse me, right there. So Big 12 real quick. Zip by these to our next break. Big 12, I got locks of Iowa State, Houston, Texas Tech, who had a big win against Kansas Saturday, Arizona, BYU. Now, a big name that's left out there is Kansas. Kansas lost to Texas Tech the other day. I watched that game. Kansas is 19-10, 10-8 in conference play. Now, I'm not saying Kansas could get in, but are they a team worthy to get in? Another top 5 team, and the team I kind of, with the additions they made and stuff like that, a team I had at least make it to the Final Four, Elite 8, Final Four. Getting Riley Griffin from Alabama, Dickerson coming back. I thought, they're gonna make a run. But, it's just like some bad losses, poor shooting for them. At times we play stronger teams, bad defense. Lost to a Utah team that fired their coach. Took a big ass moving from BYU a couple weeks ago. Lost to a lowly Kansas State team. Back last month. So conference play has not been kind to Bill Self and company. It has not been very kind. Now, they play at Houston on tomorrow, Monday. If they win that, I think they're locked to get in. They lose that, then lose to Arizona on Saturday. We really talk about talk with the Kansas Jayhawks. And I don't think that's like words that I will ever utter in my existence of these 37 years on Earth. I used to live out in Missouri. Big KU area. I mean, fans, stuff like that. Mizzou, they both. More KU, Mizzou, let's be real. But if they don't make the tournament, that fan base, I don't know. They're going to have a big-ass hissy fit. So, for Bill Self's sake, they better win the last 2 games against Houston and Arizona. If not, it's going to be rough for him and Lawrence. I'm not saying they're going to get rid of him, but time is ticking. All right, I'm going to round this up with the SEC real quick before I take a last break. SEC play. SEC. Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, Texas A&M, Mizzou, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, And I got Vanderbilt in there as well. So 10 teams for the SEC. Now, why did I go 10 here? I think this because the toughness of the conference. The toughness of this conference is just top to bottom very tough. Vanderbilt, who has some rough years with Jerry Stackhouse in the helm, really kind of bounced back pretty good, actually. That's a strong wins here late. To beat Missouri Saturday, big time win over ranked Missouri. I think they kind of got them in that conversation here as a lock. And then to beat Texas A&M before that, beat Ole Miss. There was like a rough stretch. They had losses with Auburn, Tennessee, and Kentucky, but hey, past 2 games they've been playing pretty well. So, and with Arkansas and Georgia on deck for Vanderbilt, if they win those 2 games, they're for sure a lock in my eyes. So that's my 10 right there to make from the SEC. Now, some people are saying, what about Arkansas? Seth Ease, a friend of the network, he said, yeah, they might get in because how weak the field is. And it could be true. But I just think how Arkansas came out so weak at the gate, I can't put them in right now. They're on the outside looking at their ranked schedule. They play Vanderbilt, of course, I just mentioned, and Mississippi State. Now, they win out of those 2 games, they could be in the talks. If they lose those 2 games or split, you got to keep them out. Georgia. Damn. Georgia came in hot into conference play, but they really sputtered out. Between them and Oklahoma, when they come into conference play this year, they both kind of just went down. Bad. Very bad. So much so, I think old boy from Oklahoma may be on the hot seat. I don't say may. He is on the hot seat. Because I think it's like 3rd or 4th year in a row that he started off well non-conference play. And then get into conference play, he's below 500. You were 13-0 coming into conference play now, and you only won like 4 games since. That made no sense. That shouldn't happen. But between Texas, Arkansas, Georgia, Oklahoma, I'll take it back. Texas, Arkansas, Georgia. Between those 3 teams right there, one of those teams may sneak in. And I put my bets on it. I'm going Georgia. I got to give the nod to Georgia. If between those 3 teams, if they got to sneak one more team in from the SEC, I'm going Georgia. Yeah, Arkansas may have stronger, but I'm going Georgia. And then Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, LSU, South Carolina, yeah, but they get in the cold. And with Arkansas possibly playing the NIT along with Texas and possibly Oklahoma. So that's my team so far in the big conferences, in the Big 4 in a sense, bubble watch wise. Mountain West. New Mexico probably be a lock. Utah State probably be a lock. San Diego State, they should be a lock. They just got to just win out against UNLV and Nevada. I think they'll be in as a lock. Caught up. The thing about the Mountain West is like all these teams have good records, but you always got to put them below the other conferences because how strong the other conferences are. Like, I'll be honest, Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, Utah State, New Mexico, I'll put them in. But I think with the community value of these big conferences and stuff like that, like I said, I'd say there's potentially 11 teams in the SEC that could be making it to the NCAA tournament. Big 10, 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? Big 12, at least 7. So these other small conferences got to do a little work, in my opinion, to get in. But we'll see. But take my last break. On the other side of things, I do want to talk about the Celtics. Kind of just shooting themselves in the foot against the Cavs the other day. But I'll discuss that my last subject of the night and the other scores and news around the league. But this is Fast Break here live for iSports Radio. You're ready for Always Sports, and I'll catch you on the other side.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Galise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold, and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Galise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter, at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back to Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio. Your direct for all is sports. Here to close out the last segment of the show tonight. And I kind of did want to talk about this because it kind of went viral how it happened. And when the Celtics played the Cavs the other night, where the Cavs came back and won 123 to 116, the one major clip that we saw, and I tried to get the video of it, but the download didn't happen. But the one video that we saw, we had Jason Tatum kind of like, it's over, making the gestures, all that good stuff. And I think in sports, if we're going to be real, it's very stupid in a sense. I hate to say that like that, but it's very stupid to kind of, make things, take things out of context and make things, make an early grave for things that you haven't put away yet. Jim Rome got a saying, throwing dirt on something that's possibly dead, but not dead yet. Well, in that game, you know, Tatum made adjustments that it's over. You know, they were beating down the Cavs. I'm not saying, you know, they weren't beating them down, but they were beating them down. But credit to Cleveland, and Boston has known this, but Cleveland been ahead of them in the standings since kind of the jump in the early season. You know, there's a reason why Cleveland's 50-10 right now, best record in the league, and Boston been looking up at them ever since. Donovan Mitchell, 41 points for him, one of his better scoring outputs of the year. 20 points for Darius Garland, double-double from Evan Mobley, 17-12. Excuse me. 12 points off the bench for DeAndre Hunter. And yeah, Tatum has 46 points against the Cavs in that matchup. And Jaylen Brown had 37. But between you two superstars, you know, 46-37, and you lose to 7 to the top team in the NBA, it's not a great look. Not a great look right now. That's not a great look. And a team that you possibly might see in the conference finals, could you maybe just tip your hand a little too early about that? And that's something that the Cavs, Kenny Atkinson, will keep that bulletin board material, saying, "Hey, these two think, you know, just because they get you down very quick, they got the game in hand." And for Cleveland to bounce back, to overcome that big deficit early in the first quarter, to win by 7 in Boston, and at Boston, speaks very highly of Kenny Atkinson, who I think should be NBA Coach of the Year, but speaks volumes to, okay, wherever the score in Boston, we know how the team is. Okay, we took the punch in the mouth, we adjusted accordingly, came back, we rolled the back of Donovan Mitchell, and we won 7 in Boston. They won 7 in Boston. They won in Boston by 7 points. So I think I know you Celtics, you're the defending champs. Tatum's got a lot of, you know, been trying to prove everything in the world since the Olympics, stuff like that. But if you're Boston, you can't give your, as quote unquote, nemesis, a team that like very legit in the way of y'all repeating, any bulletin board material. You can't. And I think, you know, it's just speaking like coaching experience for Joe Mazzulla, hey, sometimes you gotta tell your dudes, hey, sometimes you gotta chill out a little bit. You gotta focus, you know, who you playing and all that stuff. Yeah, if you did that against the freaking Wizards, yeah, different story. Because we know they're hot garbage, and if you jump out and stuff like that, yeah, you're supposed to beat them down like that. But against the Celtics, I mean, this Cavs team, no, you got to make sure they dead. Kind of like a cockroach. You step on it, yeah, but it'll get up and shake and move around and stuff like that, and could get away and breathe new life to itself. So I had to touch on that because sometimes these guys get ahead of themselves in the league, and they kind of wonder why, like, what happens sometimes when they get the other teams come and punch in the mouth. They count, you know, going to scores today for the league. The same Cavs team I talked about, they beat the Trailblazers in overtime. The Trailblazers team that have been pretty, the young guys have played pretty well. You know, I will say that about the Trailblazers. The young guys have been playing pretty well. Scoot Henderson's been playing pretty well. You know, Shaden Sharp, Kamar, Simons, Avija been playing very well, scoring the ball very well as a 4-man. So a lot of good things, you know, going for Portland. They hung tough. Cleveland, They put DeAndre Hunter in the starting lineup. He had 32 points. Shot the ball very well for Cleveland. 7 rebounds for him. Evan Mobley, 20 points for him. Jared Allen, double-double for him. No Donovan Mitchell. But, you took care of business. Ty Jerome, 25 points for him. You took care of business. And then, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, the Cavs probably thought, well, I'm not saying the Blaze is going to be a walkover, but we should have to beat them without Donovan Mitchell. But I'm pretty damn sure that if they got up a little bit on Portland, they ain't go, it's over, it's done. No. You treat every opponent like a serious opponent. Don't matter what the record is. Like, before I got there, this past season when I coached, I told my guys, and we didn't have the best record. And you don't have the best record, things don't go the way you expect. But I told them, when we did the end of season tournament, there's one team was 0-10. I hate to put the kids on blast like this, but it goes to context, right here. I told the kids this, like, if anything, and I told them, if anything, let's not let this one team get a feather in their cap by beating us in this tournament. Just keep on 10, and we live to fight for another day. That's my boom to boom material right there. Like, yeah, we know this team hasn't won a game, but let's not let them beat us. Let's not lose sight, and then we come back next game, focus, ready to go, all that good stuff. And that's how you should be approach these games. Don't lose focus. Keep the focus there. Yeah, this team is 0-10, but you don't want to lose focus and let this team beat you and let them go to the next round while you go home and sour grapes on that good stuff. That's how y'all probably saying, what's this mean with the Celtics and Cavs? Well, for the Celtics side of things, you don't want to look ahead past things or give your team that's possibly better than you an edge when bigger stakes come in play. That's what I'm getting at. So I hope for Joe Mazzulla and company, Brad Stevens up in the front office, I hope, hey guys, yeah, the adrenaline rush and stuff like that, but hey, we got to keep focused. We got to know who you're playing. That's all I'm saying. That's all we saying. So, that's been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with me tonight. Hopefully, D-Locke will be back on the show next week. My mouth is feeling a lot better, so hopefully things will be going well. I don't know when my next dentist appointment would be, but they're so booked up. I might not see them within a month. But anyways, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. The scores are other scores. The Lakers play the Clippers tonight in the big time matchup. And by the way, if y'all didn't notice, the Lakers are number 3. That's right, number 3 in the West. 37-21. Could be a little bit higher if they lose games against the Hornets and Jazz. Hell, they could be number 2 if you really think about it. But can't be mad at all that stuff. So, but Lakers play the Clippers tonight. Big time matchup there. The Luka and LeBron thing seems like going pretty well. No Austin Reeves tonight for the Lakers, so we're really to see who they put in the starting lineup right there. Maybe Dr. Connect, maybe Gabe Vincent, maybe the Goodwin kid. So we'll see what the Lakers do there for the starting lineup for the next week or so, and that side of things. But I've said all that. Do follow the show here at Fast Break IESR. That's Fast Break IESR on X. Do follow D-Locke here on X/Twitter at Black-813. That's Black-813. Also follow on Instagram on that same handle as well. I think he has a coaching page as well, so do follow him there. there's a lot of great stuff for the students and kids. A lot of great advice there on the track and field side of things. So do follow them there on Instagram as well. Do follow me on X/Twitter. Right here, Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288. I know I repost a lot of stuff from Angie Stone. Passed away tragically here down in Montgomery, going to Atlanta, I believe. Very tragic. She got into a bad wreck down there. So condolences to her family there. I post a lot of stuff from there from her. Also, do follow me on Instagram as on the Crooks Process, the handle that you see right there on the show right there. Do follow me on Instagram and Facebook on the Crooks Process. Also TikTok as well, Crooks Process on there as well. So do follow me on there. And like I said, IE Sports Radio. Do follow us there on all your social media feeds and all that good stuff. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, do follow next week. March Madness is here. Women's tournaments will be happening. The men's should be finishing up. And we're talking more talk of the NBA wrapping up here soon. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.